I love telling that to kids because, you know, sometimes you have to do things with them that they really don't like, and this story kind of brings it home to them. So that's the little bird story. I've been working with veterans for 45 years, and over that period of time, I have found that veterans that need a lot of help get it. For the most part, veterans that are severely disabled get everything they need through the VA or other organizations. We've got veterans coming home now that get state-of-the-art houses, state-of-the-art limbs. One of my friends, Leroy Petrie, who earned the Medal of Honor, lost his arm. He doesn't have a hook, he has a hand. And he has different color hands and hands that do different things. And he can touch all 5 fingers and do all this stuff. It's really cool. But there's a lot of vets that don't need major stuff. They just need a little bit of help. And that's what we do. Actually, see, I get to stand up here and talk, and my vice president, who's out of uniform,
Who's out of uniform?
I believe in the military, the commanding officer is always in uniform. I get to stand up here and talk, and you know, get the applause and all that. But that's the guy that does the work, right there. He has decided that I cannot say no, and so he is the guy that does all of the heavy lifting. He does all of the work when it comes to taking care of these vets. He's the guy that goes to the bank. He's the guy that writes the checks. He's the guy that talks to them on the phone. I get to stand up here and smile and grin, but he does the work that gets this program that we have moving forward. Yeah. But what we do, and I guess I could best explain it to you by what happened to probably a lot of us, but I'll just tell you my story. Got back from Vietnam, got married, got a job working with the VA. Was a Veterans Benefits Counselor, worked out of North Chicago VA Medical Center. Back then it was Downey. Was making okay, not a lot, but not a little. But we had 2 kids, 1 on the way, and money's a little bit tight. And a lot of times we had too much month at the end of the money. And we were living literally paycheck to paycheck. I had a little Honda Civic that I was using to get back and forth to work. My wife had to have a car because we lived out where you couldn't walk anywhere. And so she had to have a car to take the kids to the school and all of that. I had to have a car to get back and forth to work because I couldn't walk to work. And there was no bus service. And so one fine day I get up to start the car and it's not running right, and I end up taking it down to the garage, and the mechanic says it's going to cost you $800 to get it fixed. I couldn't afford to buy a new car, and I couldn't afford to get the car fixed. So I had to make a decision. Do I get the car fixed, or do I pay a bill?
Take a break.
And we've always been in that situation. I bet you everyone in this room has been in that situation at least once. And we got behind in our bills. And we got a little bit more behind the next month, because the more behind you get, the more behinder you get.
Interest goes up.
And then the interest goes up, and you have the penalty payments. And the next thing you know, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. And it was tough. It was a tough few years. It took us a couple, 3 years to get caught up with all the bills that we had to gerrymander and pay this one, don't pay that one. And I'm working full time. And I'm in the reserves. There's a lot of veterans that are going through that. They need just that little bit of help. Now, I was lucky. I had a job. I had money coming in every month, every couple of weeks. I had my reserve pay. And yeah, we got behind, but it wasn't that bad. But there's a lot of vets that don't have a job. Or, as what happened with one, veteran gets back from Afghanistan, is down at Fort Hood, getting treatment for his wounds. His wife is living in Arizona, or is it Colorado?
Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah. North side of Chicago.
North side of Chicago. Needed to get down to see him, and so needed transportation. He's at Fort Hood, she's in Chicago. Just wanted to go down and visit her husband occasionally as he was going through the warrior transition and going through all of this treatment he had to get. So we paid her way to get down there to see him. We had a 70% service-connected veteran down in Alabama. Didn't know that in Alabama, in some places anyway, they have to have uniforms for their kids to go to school. He's 70% service-connected. He's got TBI, traumatic brain injury. He's got bad PTSD, more wounds. He put in for 100% because he couldn't work. And now he's stuck with these, has to go out and buy uniforms for his kids to go to grade school, or public school. And again, a little bit too much month at the end of the money. Started to fall behind, so we bought through one of our favorite stores, Walmart. We arranged for him to get uniforms for his kids. We paid a few of his bills. We helped him out a little bit. He's doing fine now. We had a young man from Robbins in the National Guard. Was doing very, very well in officer candidate school. Didn't need a lot. Got a call from his commanding officer that said, look, he's a really good kid, but he's falling behind. He needs a laptop. We spent about $300 and got him a laptop. He's doing pretty good now. He's able to keep up with his courses. These are the kind of things that we do. These are the little things that don't always work. You know, you go to some place and you go, all I need is $300. All I need is $1,000. And everything will be okay if I can just get over this hump. We had a young mom from Chicago here, and last year, right around this time actually, she needed a car. The car broke down. One of our board members, Paul Bryan, drives Chicago, did the Chicago Auto Show, great guy. Family support called Bruce. Bruce called Paul, said, look, I got a mom with 2 kids, husband's down in Fort Hood, Texas, going through some transitional stuff. Car broke down. You think we could help her out? He got a hold of, help me with the car, Bruce, do you remember? McGrath?
No, it wasn't. It was one of the big dealers.
One of the big dealers here in Chicago. They said, bring the car in, we'll give you family, friends discount, and then some. She brings the car in, and it's dead on arrival. He says, would cost more to fix it than it's worth. So we spent about $5,500 and got her a certified used car. He gets back from Fort Hood, gets back home. A couple months later, Doug Rickard, who's also on our board, does operations, support our troops, rocking for the troops. She got him a job, a career. Grosinger, Eric Grosinger. These are the kind of things that we do. It's not earth-shaking. We don't build houses. We put a roof on a Gold Star MIA widow. We put a roof on her house, surely by accident. And I ought to have Bruce tell the story about it because it's pretty cool. Come on, Bruce.
Serendipity. You've all encountered this in various aspects of your life. I was in Vietnam, March 70, March 71. That included the time in Cambodia where we were there officially. Last day of the incursion was 30 June. A guy that I had gone through flight school with was in the company next door to me in Vietnam, flying what we called Nash and Trash mission. A to B, couple passengers, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Going to be a real easy day. They got shot out of the sky at 2,500 feet. There were 5 people on board. 4 died in a crash. The survivor is out in California doing well. in 2012, they recovered some commingled remains of 3 of the crew members. And although each of the individuals had been buried at home, they did a group burial at Arlington for the 3 of them, and I was able to make it for that. One of those 3, the crew chief, was from near Traverse City, Michigan, was an American Indian. And his brother told me that they were going to have a local ceremony because they were taking some soil from Arlington and going to put it in his grave there in the Traverse City area. And could I make that? I said, I can't promise, let me know. Well, it turns out I was able to make that ceremony that Saturday. One of the guys from Michigan who happened to go to that burial found out what the Lynch Foundation does, and on his own down in Lansing had met this MIA widow, gotten to know her, and on his own, no club, no group, he was trying to recruit people to help put a roof on this lady's house. Because she wasn't a veteran, because he wasn't retired, there was nobody that was going to talk to her or talk to him about giving money to her. So he was looking for a donation. Home Depot had cooperated, had cut the price to the bones, and they were looking for a sponsor. I came back, we ran it through the board, we said it's one of those things that makes sense. So we bought the roof. He's got volunteers lined up, they're putting the roof up, and they ran into a problem. If you've ever done any roofing, some valleys can be fairly complicated. He didn't know what to do, so he went to a local roofing company and said, could you explain how to do this the best possible way? The roofing company said, no, we'll come out and do it for you. A good act, a good act, a good act, serendipity. We help each other. It's how we're raised, I think.
Now here's how we do this. This is veterans helping veterans to help themselves. This isn't a handout, it's a handout. We do not give money or resources to veterans that are walking around like this. We all know them. There's guys out there that no matter what you do, you can give them $1 million today, tomorrow they're going to be asking for more.
We got an email a couple weeks ago.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And Al and I have dealt with enough people that you get a warm fuzzy when you're hearing the straight scoop. The hair on the back of your neck goes up when you're being bullshitted. Most of you have got that detector. This guy sent me an email saying he only needed $14,400 to be in good shape. He didn't get it.
What we do is I'm assistant superintendent of the Lake County Veterans Assistance Commission. So what we do is, as much as we can, is we vet our veterans through the Veterans Assistance Commissions or other organizations like Operation Support Our Troops out in California. We've worked with an organization. We've been able to help a couple people out there. They do the work. They basically said, look, we run them through. These are good people. They really need some help. We'll do that. We are nationwide. We turn down no veterans that need assistance, that are looking for that hand up. Now, the fact is a lot of us are coming home now. A lot of vets are going to be coming home with this reduction in force. There's going to be unemployment problems. There's going to be a lot of issues. And we need to be there for them. And with your help, and with people like Herschel, Dr. Rudy Keller and all that, we're going to be able to help these people. And they deserve it. They're the less than 1% of this country that serves it. If anyone deserves help, it is the men and women that serve this nation. And they should be first on the block to get the help, not last. And there's just one other thing I want to say before I quit. You've all heard about what happened out in
Tucson.
Phoenix. Thank you, Phoenix.
Phoenix, that's close.
We have got to start watching our VA system. We are not going to allow our veterans, our brothers and sisters, to die because some bureaucrat is lazy. And we've got to stop being hail fellow well met, thank you VA for what you do. We deserve that treatment at that VA hospital, and we deserve to be treated right. And we need to start making our voices known. I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a liberal, I'm not a conservative. I am for veterans, and I don't give a damn who's in office. If they're not taking care of the people that serve this country, we need their scalps on our belt to be perfectly clear. We need to kick their butt out of office. That's what